I got this next question from my previous video asking for questions, and I hope I'm saying your name right, but this question comes from Jace, and Jace is asking about Jesus' name, and he says this. He asks, I have heard people say Jesus' real name is Yeshua, and I've been trying to find in the Bible where it is, but I can't find anything promising. Now, this may seem like a pretty basic question, but I actually think it's a really important question that we have to ask ourselves, because I believe what we call someone has a lot more meaning than we actually think it does. You see, in America, we don't put much thought behind names. When we're thinking of a name for our children, a lot of times we just like the name, that we don't think about what it means, and we just like it, and so we name our kids that. However, in Hebrew culture, which is the culture that Jesus grew up in, names were important because names actually had meaning. And since Jesus was born and he lived and he was ultimately crucified, buried, and raised again in the Hebrew culture, his name has a lot of meaning. Now, Jace, you won't find the name Yeshua written out in any English Bible. And that's simply because the name Yeshua is a Hebrew name. In English, if we were to translate it directly from Hebrew to English, we would see the name Joshua. However, his name in the Bible is Jesus. So how did we get there? Well, the New Testament was written in Greek. And so in Greek, the name Yeshua is actually translated into, now, I'm no Greek scholar here, so forgive my pronunciation if it's wrong, but to translate it from Yeshua in Hebrew to Greek is actually Jesus. And when you translate that Greek name to English, so from Yeshua to Jesus to Jesus, that's how we get to the name Jesus. And so to boil it all down, Yeshua, Jesus, Jesus, it's the same name. And as Shakespeare so eloquently put it, that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. We can call Jesus, Jesus. We can call him Yeshua. We can call him Jesus or any other version of that name. And that won't change who he is or who we're talking about. Because how you pronounce his name isn't nearly as important as what his name means. And the name Yeshua, Jesus, or Jesus, they all mean the same thing. And that's this: the Lord is salvation. And in Romans 10:13, we see Paul says this, that everyone who calls on the name of the Lord, whether they call on that name in English, in Hebrew, in Greek, or Spanish, or any other language, anyone and everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved.